Although from left to right, the shelves are still full, on the right side, we see things have been organized. Similar parts are in similar places. The shelves have been marked, thus reducing the search times required to find items needed. In addition, Kanban cards might be used to maintain the necessary minimum amount of product so that we never run out. Here we see a cabinet on the left that looks rather orderly. It's kind of neat. Things are stacked up. We can see that like products are together. However, on the right, we see a small change that's been made to make all of these products much more accessible, easier to see, much highly visualized process. Search times reduce the possibility of running out and not knowing it, pretty much eliminated. Here's a picture in a laboratory. This laboratory had processes that came in. The people on the left had all of their tools in drawers, as we can see, long searching times, always trying to find the things that you needed to work with. On the right, we see the two pictures of how it was changed afterwards, eliminating those things that weren't necessary, organizing the few tools that we do really need, the shadow boards in our drawers. As a bonus, management provided the cabinets on the top right to the employees, so they had personal storage area in their work area as well. A small added bonus for being very successful in this 5S process. Standards. What is a standard? The wheel of improvement is hard and heavy. We push it over time uphill. If we at any time stop pushing that wheel, it will roll, and it will roll back down. A standard is a block, a chalk. It's the thing that we use to make sure that the hard work that we've invested in our improvements does not get lost. We set the standard, keep that wheel from rolling downhill. Every time we make a change to our improvement, to our process, we have to remember to adjust our standard as well. Otherwise, we will roll back to where we were. Requirements for a standard. What makes a standard good? When will people follow a standard? We have 5 simple things that we say. I'm sorry, I've got a technical problem here. What you should be seeing on your screen are 5 circles that determine a standard has to be simple. It has to be possible to do. It has to make sense. It has to be clear so it's not confused with anything else. And overall, standards have to be safe. We don't want to instruct our people to do anything that's not safe. The improvement process using the SDCA, or Standard Do Check Act, and PDCA, Plan Do Check Act. PDCA, as we might know, comes from Deming and means Plan Do Check Act. It's a simple thought process in making improvements. Here we see how over time we increase our efficiency by making changes in our processes. On the left, we see the process as it was before the introduction of standards. After we introduce standards, we have a reduction in the variation of that process. Less defects, better quality, being results. When we make improvements to this process, we make changes. and changes have to be learned. During the PDCA process, new standards, of course, will be developed for the new process. But after time, we watch this process in its new form, determine what is the best way to do it, and then modify our standards to once again have the least variation in our processes at this higher level of efficiency over time. This is a never-ending process. PDCA to change, to increase our efficiency, SDCA to lock in value in our processes and reduce variation. Standards, we're faced with standards everyday life. We see visual standards. Visualization of standards is the best method to ensure that standards will be understood and maintained. Here we see a few pictures on the left that everyone can understand. They break the bounds of language and tell everyone what it is that we need to know. Such standards are used every day in airports, train stations, to help with a flood of people from many cultures and many languages. So how do we do this at work? Let's look on the right. Maybe I visualize my min and my maximum for fluid levels. I use simple symbols that show people should not use this entranceway. I use visual management. We come back to 5S, our standardization tools, shadow boards, where things belong, if something is missing. On the bottom we'll see a gauge that everyone can read and tell, is this process performing as it should be? I need no technical expertise to quickly identify, is this process running as it should be, or is something wrong with this process that needs to be recorded? And of course, standard symbols like flammable, no smoking, etc. All visualized to help everyone understand. Employee involvement. Employee involvement is one of the most crucial elements in long-term sustainment of your lean journey. We'll now go through